Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dawn Huffy. I'm the owner of Liberty Belle Coaching, and my life coaching certifications came through the Brave Thinking Institute. I welcome you to this Power of Vision Masterclass. Big changes come to people who attend this class. People get big shifts and changes for the better. And so I'm really glad that you're here. You made the decision to join me in this masterclass, and it is my intention that you leave here today knowing 3 tools that can help you achieve your goals and your dreams faster than you ever imagined. I'd like you to have greater clarity on what those dreams are and to feel even more confident in the power that lives within you to achieve your goals and dreams. Now, to do this, I'll share a story that will help us take the first step. And I'm going to share my screen in order to do that. Great. Okay, now for the story. A mother mouse was leading her 3 children through a house when all of a sudden they came around the corner and they saw a cat. The cat was about to attack, and the mother mouse said in a very loud voice, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and the cat ran away. The mother mouse turned to her babies and said this: "That is the power of learning more than one language." Why this story matters to you is because today we're going to be looking at and talking about the language of success. This is the language that will bring our dreams into reality. There is a pattern, a system, a way of doing things that creates results you want. And once you consciously understand what that language is, then you can apply it to any area of your life that you would like to improve. That is what the Dream Builder program is all about, learning a new language of success for life. Do you have a goal or a dream that you would like to achieve, or some area of your life that you would like to improve? Have you ever achieved a goal in your life that when you first had that goal, you didn't really know how you were going to get there, but you made it anyway? So that proves the point. It proves that we are capable of far more than we know. And the Dream Builder program helps you to tap into all of that beautiful capability. I have 3 goals for you today. My intention is to give you 3 tools to help you achieve your goals. The next one is to gain greater clarity on your goals and dreams. And lastly, feel even more confident in your ability. Let's take a minute and ask ourselves, what challenge is going on in my life right now? Is there some area of your life that's causing you pain? Perhaps it's in your health, your job, your lack of free time. Maybe it's a relationship or possibly your finances. We live in a universe that speaks our dreams and goals to us through 2 signals. These signals are really important to notice. The first one is longing, the feeling of longing for something that we haven't yet created. So we've all had this longing for something that we don't have right now. This is a signal to us that we want to grow beyond where we are. We are constantly growing. God put it within us to continue to grow and to learn and to just keep moving forward. The other signal is that of discontent. You might look at your life and say, you know what, I just don't like where I live. I've been putting up with this for too long. So there's discontent there. So this discontent is a signal that, okay, let's get myself out of this living space and into something that just fills my soul so much more. Now, these 2 feelings spark us to grow. There's a couple ways you can get there. You can be pushed by pain, which is the more difficult way to go, or you can be pulled forward by a vision. And that's what we do in the Dream Builder program. These two energies, the pain of your problem and the desire for what you want, are essential for creating something different, for creating different results. I want to share a time in my life where pain pushed me to make a change. It's a change that I had wanted to make, and I was just ignoring it, just kind of going along with the situation the way it was. Yes, but one day, and I'll tell you about that one day. So as some of you might know, in the fall of 2020, I was feeling so frustrated at all of the restrictions and the requirements at my job in the private school where I worked. We all know what happened in 2020. We were told that we had to do this, and this, and all this ridiculousness, and I was not going to do it. I felt terrible about the things that they wanted me to comply with. I knew if I did comply that I would be so unhappy with myself, because going against my values and what is good for me never works out. There's always consequences to our choices. And reflecting on my life and the choices that I made when I really didn't want to make that choice, but I did it because someone wanted me to, or I thought, they would like me more if I did it, never worked out. On our final day of in-service, when the new restrictions were delivered, I made a decision. I decided that my job was coming to an end that day. That decision was scary since I had no other job in mind at the time. It wasn't convenient and it wasn't comfortable making that decision, but the alternative was just not acceptable to me. I was pushed by the pain of my situation to make a change. Within a month of leaving that job, I discovered a life coach named Mary Morrissey. I found her programs were starting to change my life in ways that were very positive. When I was presented with Mary's life coaching program, I knew that I wanted to take that step. I have found when I teach principles, it is much easier for me to stay immersed in them and to implement them. So I enrolled and went through a rigorous training process to become certified as a Dream Builder life coach. And I'm so glad I did. I absolutely love teaching. It is one of my gifts that I have. We all have gifts, and I really feel invigorated when I teach. And I love helping people dissolve their traumas from the past and to learn new concepts of how to live the life they absolutely love. Now, what's your next big dream? Imagine how you will feel when your dream becomes a reality. In the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success when you apply them to your life. Today, you will learn 3 of these principles that you can apply right now to help you create a life you love. Remember, I said that people get amazing results just by attending this vision workshop. Here is my promise to you. I will give you my best in the time that we have together. And at the end of this presentation, many of you will want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. And I have a special gift that I'm going to give you at the end of the presentation, and I think you'll absolutely love it. In our lives, we are constantly creating results. Now, we create results in 2 different ways. The first way is by default. Now, what do I mean by creating our results by default? What I mean is that we absolutely are just living our lives out of our patterns that we have adopted and believed in and just kept running on automatic. So we default to the same behaviors. We default to the same choices. We live our life on default. The other way to create results is by design. And of course, this is what we do in the Dream Builder program. We actually vision out what we want for our future. And we're going to be doing some of that later in this masterclass. Now, let's learn to expand your awareness for success in the areas of life that matter to you. There are 4 major domains of life in which we experience our results. And the first, as you can see, is our health and well-being. The second area is love and relationships. The third area is vocation. And the last area is time and money freedom. Everybody has results in each one of these quadrants. The results that you are getting in your life in these areas are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. A lot of times we are just not aware. Everything's running in our subconscious mind, and we don't have an awareness of our patterns and of our paradigms. Let's expand your awareness together by studying the pattern that creates your results, or what I call the results formula. The formula looks like this. First, we have thoughts in our mind, and our thoughts cause us to have certain feelings. The feelings can propel us to take actions, and the actions give us our results. Now, there's another layer that I learned of in 2022, and this is in the subconscious mind. It's actually a precursor to our thoughts, and it is our patterns that run on automatic. These patterns give us certain thoughts. They are thoughts that we fight day in and day out, like, oh, I'm not good enough to do that. I don't think I can handle that. I don't think I can do that. These negative thoughts, and some people call them these nasty voices, they're coming from our patterns. And until we dissolve the wound, the original wound that created that pattern, we will continue to fight those automatic thoughts that keep coming up, and then they cause us to have certain feelings. We get triggered off, we have certain actions that we do, and then we get sometimes disastrous results. Let's use an example. Think about this thought. I've lost my wallet. What happens when you think that thought? Well, if you're like me, I've had this happen to me before, and it's very stressful. You get worried, you get in a panic. And so those feelings cause us to take actions. Maybe we're scurrying around looking everywhere for our wallet. Maybe we're calling people, and then it gives us results. We might, just sit down and cry, or we might just be so exhausted because we've searched and searched for a long time. So now think the thought, oh, that's right, I left my wallet in my coat pocket. How are you feeling now? Relieved, you're just feeling so grateful. The other thing that happens with our thoughts is it causes our body physiology to change. So we really want to be aware of this, because we can wear our emotional system out. We can wear our nervous system out. We can deplete our adrenal glands because we're thinking these panicky, scary thoughts. And it does give our body a response. We maybe got sweaty palms, maybe our heart beat really fast, maybe our breathing became shallow. So these things take a toll on the body. Yes. Let's look at this next slide, and it's telling us that our thoughts are in charge of our results. Our patterns that are running unconsciously that cause us to think certain thoughts are in charge of our results, and our results never lie. If you want to know what you've been thinking, just look at your results. When I want to clear something out, or when I know I need to clear something out, I maybe will just be doing something as simple as going to the post office, and I will have a situation that triggers me off. And sometimes there are 2 or 3 situations that are connected with me getting triggered off by my interactions with people. And then I know I need to do some work to find out that original wound that's causing me to get triggered and to have these negative interactions with people. I don't want to have these negative interactions. I want to have positive, upbeat interactions. But our wounds, they keep attracting situations to us so that we will see that we have a wound, so that we will finally have an awareness that some work needs to be done to clear out the wound. Does that make sense? When you really start to understand how this all works, you could see the beauty in working with me and especially doing the compassion key. It is such a profound way to heal those traumas and those wounds from the past. Some people resist the concept that they're attracting these situations because of the patterns going on within themselves. I used to. I mean, I didn't want to believe that these results were coming from me. I wanted to blame everybody else. Oh, they're in a bad mood today. And oh, why did it have to be so snotty to me today? Okay, we have to get out of the blame game and start to ask the question, what's going on with me? Now, the good news is that we can heal these wounds. We can catch these thoughts and start to change them into different thoughts. We can change our thinking. So if you want to create new results in your life, then you must begin by learning and adapting new tools. In order to get something different, you must do something different. And so here is your first tool for today. Notice what you're noticing. So if you would just take a minute, I'm going to invite you to notice your feet on the floor. Notice your calves. Now notice your knees and your thighs, your hips, your abdomen, your breathing. How's it feeling in your throat? Now let's move up to your head. What's going on in your head? Notice what you're noticing in your head. What thoughts are flying through your mind? This is where we really want to use this tool to notice what you're noticing in our thoughts. We're going to use this tool in this life assessment. We're going to notice our current results. You might be a person who doesn't know what your dream is. You just know there's something more for you out there. Or you might have lots of dreams and you don't know whether to choose one or create them all at once. Every one of us has a dream inside of us somewhere. We may have lost it along the way, but it's still in there. Or maybe we have a new one. Maybe we have a new dream. We are going to start in the health and well-being area. You might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health. Maybe you have relatively good health. You don't really have any symptoms, but you know that there is more vibrancy and aliveness that you could feel. All right, so this is where you get the opportunity to write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing about your health and well-being. And I'm going to time us so that we stay on track. And so I'm going to give you 1 minute. So ready, go ahead and write. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Next, I'm going to ask you to give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means that your health is really suffering. You're just not doing well at all. And 5 means you are feeling fabulous and fantastic. So just go ahead and write down a number between 1 and 5. Okay, great. Let's go on to the next area, which is love and relationships. You might be a person who longs to have a beautiful, deep, fun, and passionate relationship with a loving and caring partner. Or maybe you would love to deepen, expand, and have more fun with the relationship that you are already in. Once again, go ahead and take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things. What I will suggest is that you choose one relationship. Maybe it's a relationship with your mother or your daughter or your spouse. Choose that one relationship and write down 1 or 2 things that you are noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. And you can give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 where you are at with this relationship. Moving on to vocation, or how we express ourselves in the world. You might be a person who feels stuck in a job you don't like, just like I was. Or you maybe like your work, but you work too many hours and you want more freedom. All right, go ahead and take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing in this area. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. And once again, you can give yourself a rating of where you feel you are at in your satisfaction level with your vocation. Give yourself a number between 1 and 5. And on to our last area, which is time and money freedom. You might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more time than money or more money than time, and you'd love to feel more in harmony. You want to get some of that serenity back. So take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing in this area. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. And lastly, give yourself a rating in this area on a scale of 1 to 5. Where are you at? I want to commend you for being brave and writing down these things that you're not that satisfied with. If we don't identify things that we're unsatisfied with, then we really can't propel ourselves to get somewhere different. So it does take bravery and courage to look at these things. Usually we want to not focus on them because it does help us to cope better, but we're in a different situation right now. We're actually looking at these areas and wanting to know, where is my longing and where is my discontent? So good job. This brings us to the first principle of dream building, and this is designing your dream. I want to share some quotes with you about dreams and visioning. And this first quote is by the Dalai Lama. In order to carry a positive action, we develop here a positive vision. Where there is no vision, people perish. This is from the Bible in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18. This is how imperative it is to have a vision, because without it, you perish, you wither up, you dwindle away. Earl Nightingale said, people with goals succeed because they know where they are going. And C.S. Lewis said, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Every great dream begins with the dreamer by Harriet Tubman. And last is the quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And I did stress believe, because believing in our dreams is so important. It's so valuable. It really gets us to our dreams so much faster when we believe in our dream. Clarity is power. Without a clearly defined blueprint, you cannot build your dream. Just like you must have a clear blueprint if you want to build a house. The same is true for your dream. When you become clear on what it is you really want in life, you begin to see opportunities, circumstances, and resources that you would have otherwise missed. Yes, you would have. So let's design the blueprint for your dream, and let's make it crystal clear. We're going to start visioning. So consider the 4 domains of your life: health and well-being, love and relationships, vocation, or time and money freedom. For our purposes today, choose one area that you would love to improve the most. Now, you're going to want something to write with again. So we're going to do another exercise in just a minute. Now, the next really important concept that I want you to understand is that the quality of our life is determined by the questions that we ask. I'm going to go into that a little bit more in detail, but the first empowering question that I want to give to you is your second tool. It's Brave Thinking tool number 2. And here it is. What would I love? It's so simple, but a lot of us have gone away from really tuning into what it is that we would love. I practice this every day because I have had decades where I was off doing what everyone else wanted me to do, and I was not doing what I wanted to do and what was best for me. So even when I was getting ready for this master class, I thought, okay, well, what shirt do I want to wear? Oh, well, what earrings would I love to wear with my shirt? And so I picked out these, mother of pearl, beautiful earrings. Practice this skill all day long. Oh, what would I love to eat? Oh, who would I love to call? Just start tapping into this inner knowing that you have by asking questions around this great thinking tool number 2. What would I love? Now, we're going to use this question in the next exercise. I want you to imagine like you did when you were a child, where nothing was impossible. No dream was out of reach. Notice that the question, what would I love, is very different compared to the question, what do I think I can do? Because that question of what do I think I can do is very limiting, because we are capable of far more than we recognize. So we don't want to just keep ourselves in the confinement of, well, what do I think I can do? Well, I don't think I can do that. So I don't want to have that lovely thing over there because I don't think I can do it. See how limiting that is? You know what? I do want that lovely house, and that lovely house is in my dream. We also don't want to ask a question that sounds like this. What does my current situation say that I can do? Don't look to your circumstances to find out what you would love. That's going to limit you too. Maybe that house is $250,000 and you don't have the down payment for that. It doesn't matter. We're not looking to our circumstances for permission. We are really wanting to tap into what would I love, despite what our circumstances say, because we're visioning what we would love. We're not putting any limits on it. Now, here's the question that is so debilitating that I got caught up in for so long, and maybe you have too. What do other people think I should do? Are you off asking, oh, what do you think I should do about this? Well, I don't really know what to do. Maybe so-and-so knows more than I do about this. No, they don't. Nobody knows what you should do more than you do. Okay? Embrace this concept. You are the ultimate authority on knowing what you would love. I want to caution you about 2 other types of questions. And they are the questions that start with why and when. Why questions cause us to go into victimhood. Well, why isn't that house up for sale yet? Why isn't my dream house, available to me yet? The why is whining and crying, and that's the language of the devil. We don't want to do that. We don't want to go into that. We want to remember, we want to believe that it's possible to get that house or to get that dream. Now, when we start a question with when is this ever going to happen? When is just like when we were little, driving in the car, going on a trip with our parents. When are we ever going to get there? Whining. Don't do it. It's not going to get you to where you want to go. It's going to keep you stuck in where you are. And we don't want to stay stuck. We are dream builders and we want to get to our vision. So let's go back to our empowering question. What would I love? What would you love? Next, I'm going to take you into an exercise called the time machine. Imagine you are getting into a time machine and you're traveling 3 years into the future. And 3 years from now, everything you wanted completely worked out. A lovely thought, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is write the beginning of this sentence on your paper. I'm so happy and grateful now that, so go ahead. Okay, good. Gratitude is on the same vibration as abundance, and we want to tap into abundance. So we want to start our vision statement with gratitude and joy. And this is how we do it. We start out with, I am so happy and grateful now that, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to finish this mini vision because you're choosing that one area, remember? I want you to suspend any urge to figure out how this result is going to come about. We're not going to go into the hows at all. We're just going to dream and vision. This is simply what you would love, as if someone gave you the power to create exactly what you wanted. Now, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out nice and slowly through your mouth, like you're blowing through a straw. Again, in through your nose and nice and slow out through your mouth, like you're blowing through a straw. This calms down our nervous system and gets us into the creative side of our brain. And now imagine that it is 3 years from now. It is 2027 and all challenges are solved. Consider what you would love for your life. What great things are occurring for you? If you couldn't fail, what experiences are you having? Who are you with? See it. How does it feel? Now open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life that you are imagining. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Excellent. I'm so proud of you for doing that. Okay, you're visioning, you're dreaming and looking into the future of what you would love your life to look like. One last thing I would like you to add to the end of this mini vision is this phrase, this or something even better still. So go ahead and write that out. The reason that I want you to add this to the end of your vision is because we may, in a week or two or a month, absolutely see something better that we want. We can't see all of our options of what is out there from right here. So we want to keep this vision open to something even better still. God might have something better for us out there that we can't see right now from where we're at. So we leave this open. This is a document that we change. I changed my vision for what I wanted after I left that school, probably within about 2 months. I thought I was going to have my own school. I researched buying things for the school and finding a space. And then all of a sudden I thought, you know what? I don't I don't really want that school. I think I was doing that to let go of the parts that I really loved about that job, because there were certain parts that I loved about it. That's what kept me there for as long as it did. But once I recognized, you know what, this is not really where I want to go, that's when Mary Morrissey showed up. Yes, just within a few weeks, an email just came into my inbox. I had never gotten an email from her before that I was aware of. And I clicked on it and I bought one of her programs, and my life started to change for the better. Wonderful. So we are on our way. This is the beginning of designing a life that you absolutely love. I know you might not know how the dream is going to happen, and that's okay for now, because great dream builders are willing to suspend the need to know how to get there. In the beginning, we don't need to know every how or every step along the way. So, key number one, we've got. Let's move on to key number two. This is deciding for your dream. Remember, I talked about the importance of deciding? Well, here it's showing up again. Best-selling author and life coach Bob Proctor said this: there is a simple mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this mental activity, and it is called decision. Thank you, Bob. Such an amazing man. Now, you must make a firm decision for what it is you want before you will bring your dream into reality. It's all part of the process. We need to decide for new results. This is the action step that we can take to get us out of our old results. Okay, I have a story for you that will help you to understand how the Dream Builder program changed Judy's life. Judy didn't have much education. She worked in a fast food restaurant during the day and did alterations as a seamstress at night. She lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment with her 2 children. Her dream was to have a home for her family. Judy came across a program like the one that I am talking about today. She decided that if she was ever going to change her life, that she needed support. So she took a huge leap and made a decision for her dream, and she enrolled in the Dream Builder program. This was a tough thing to do, but she got up her courage and made a decision to change her life. She told her coach that her dream was to own her own home, but that she only had $500 a month for rent. She believed that there was no way she could ever buy or even rent a house for $500 a month. Her coach asked her to describe the house that she dreamed of, but Judy had great difficulty doing that. It was a struggle, but eventually Judy did come up with a description of her dream home. Now, Judy was still really discouraged that she could ever even get a house for the money that she had available. But knowing how dreams can come true, Judy's coach said to Judy, now that you have a mental picture of the house, go out and look for it. Judy thought this was crazy and told her coach, I only have $500 a month. But her coach encouraged her to look anyway. We have to get out of our old thinking and our old actions and get into new thinking and new actions. So the new action was to get out and look for the house. After 2 weeks, Judy called her coach and said, I found my dream home. But she said, it's $900 a month rent and there's no way I can afford it. Now, had Judy been on her own, that more than likely would have been the end of it, and she would have just gone back to her same old life in that 1-bedroom apartment. But her coach, on the other hand, knew the language, she knew the mindset, and she knew the questions to ask. So the coach asked Judy, Judy, if you did not know it was impossible and you really thought there was a chance you could have that house, what would you do? At first, Judy couldn't accept this, but after a week or so, she finally started to ponder the question. Okay, what would I do if I thought it was possible to get that house? And she got the answer. If you ask your Heavenly Father a question, He will give you an answer. It may not be in that moment, but it may come in a song, it may come in a book, a friend might give you the answer out of the blue. We don't know where the answer is going to come from, but once you ask the Father a question, your answer will come. Now, Judy's answer was that she would write a letter to the owner and explain her situation. In her letter, Judy described 40 things she personally would do to improve the home if the owner would provide the materials. If she could rent for that number, $500 a month rent. 3 weeks later, Judy got a call from the homeowner. He said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but something in your letter just won't leave me alone. He got connected to Judy's dream. He said, here's the deal. You sign a contract outlining what you will do every quarter, and I'll let you live in the house for 1 year for $500 a month. This man had several full $900 a month rent offers, and he did not take them. Why? Because he had something nagging at him about Judy. This is how dream building works. You vision it out, and then people and resources start to line up for you. It's so much fun. This is such a wonderful story. I just love this story because I have a story that's so similar to this. But Judy's story doesn't end there. Over the course of the year, Judy did everything she promised the owner she would do. And within 3 years, Judy owned the house. Her dream had come true. And she learned a new way of thinking thanks to her coach. That new way of brave thinking also got her a new career. Judy started her own home-based business and she got to spend more time with her children while her income soared. Her life had a whole new meaning. What about you and your dreams? It all starts with making a decision. It starts by saying to yourself, today is the day I'm going after my dream. I have to remind myself from time to time, I'm going after this thing. I'm doing this thing because we're going to go, get discouraged. And then we have to get ourselves out of the discouragement and say, you know what? I am going for this thing. Yes, there was a lull here, but I'm getting back on track and I'm going after it. You suspend all the belief in the conditions surrounding you. Don't believe the circumstances and the conditions. Believe in how your vision is going to attract all of the things needed to fulfill your dream. Decide for new results. Go ahead and read this slide. I love this slide. I love it because I can read it perfectly. It doesn't matter how mistyped it is. And so I want to relate this to our dream. So we know the beginning letter of the word, we know the last letter of the word. Now, in our dream, we know the beginning of our dream because it's right where we are, and we know the ending because we just visioned up that one area of our life. And in the middle, like the word, it's all jumbled up, it's not clear. It doesn't matter. We are still going to get the end result that we're looking for, just like we got the understanding of the word. So beautiful. So we have where we are now, and we have what we would love, and in the middle are the hows. We don't want to get caught up in the hows. We're just going to put a strike through them and know that every time you take a new action, you're in a different place. There's different things that you will notice and different things that you will see and different opportunities and different options. We just have to get ourselves into a new position, and we do that by taking action steps. We can't just sit back and dream, dream, dream. That is not dream building. Dreaming is part of what we do in the Dream Builder program, but the other part is the building. And the building part is the taking action. You must put the two together. Mary Morrissey is a genius. She thought of this whole beautiful concept. Next is dream building principle number 3, which is befriending your fear. Now, when we move into something new, our fear tends to rise up. We're in new territory. It's just the way human nature is. What I mean by befriending your fear is doing the thing you really want to do, even when fear rises up and does everything it can to stop you. Instead, make fear your friend. Just say to fear, oh, I see you, fear. I recognize you, but I'm going to be brave and take this action step anyway, even though I see that you're there. We call it brave thinking, brave acting. We're tapping into our bravery and our courage. Now, I talked about nasty voices earlier. This is a time where these nasty voices are going to rise up because you're going into something new, and the fears are going to rise up. It's not maybe they're going to rise up. They are going to rise up. And I want you to recognize what's going on when you hear some of these phrases. And they might sound like this. Yeah, right. That isn't going to happen. How are you ever going to do that? Where are you going to find the time? And where are you going to get the money? Where are these nasty voices coming from? They're coming from your paradigms or from your patterns. We talked about that earlier, about how our patterns are in our subconscious mind, and they come up into our thoughts, into the conscious mind, and out they come, out of our mouths. And we're like, I can't afford that. Where am I ever going to get the money to get a down payment for that house that I love? We need to notice what we're noticing and stop these nasty voices. Now, remember, if you are battling these over and over and over again, I can help you with the compassion key, because you won't have to keep fighting these. All you have to do is remind yourself of your vision instead of fighting, and then thinking about your decision. You don't have to fight off all these nasty voices, because we're going to heal the wound that's bringing up these nasty voices. It's so beautiful. Now, there are 2 other patterns that I want to talk about. Okay. They are, actually, there's 3. This is the voice or the pattern of delay. Oh, now it's not a good time. Just wait until later. I hear that so often. I have another business that I do, and I help people with their health. And, oh, but I'll just wait till my daughter gets married and then I'll check it out. Or I'll just wait till after the new year. When you hear these words tumble out of your mouth, recognize this is a pattern of delay. You keep delaying things. I'll do it later. I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. I'll do it, when this happens. This is a pattern of delay. And there's a reason you have a pattern. So we could get to that. Now, the next pattern that's very common is when you're shaming yourself. So maybe you want to buy a program to get yourself into a different mindset and learn new skills. And you hear this nasty voice say, you don't have the money for that. That's just irresponsible to go and buy that program. So you're shaming yourself, telling yourself it's irresponsible and, being really mean to yourself. So this is the pattern of shaming yourself. And the last pattern that is so prevalent with many, many people is the I'm not good enough pattern. You might say to yourself, oh, who are you to have that dream? You don't even have the credentials. How are you ever going to get to that dream? Because you just don't have what it takes. Oh my goodness. If you hear yourself saying that to yourself, stop yourself. Stop being mean to yourself. We need to stop getting in our own way of our dreams. Now, there is a very determined part of you, and this part wants the dream. It wants that beautiful life. Then we have the fears of failing. Well, what if you fail? How many of us have had failure in our life? We all have. At some point or another, we've had failures, and probably multiple failures. When we were babies, we started out as non-walkers. When we attempted to walk, we more than likely fell down. But what did you do next? You rose up and you worked at it again. So we didn't sit down and just say, oh, I'm never going to walk. I'm just never going to do it. No, we wanted to be up walking like our moms and dads and our siblings. We wanted to be doing what everybody else in the house was doing. We learned to walk by falling down. Something happens to us when we become adults. We stop giving ourselves permission to make mistakes. When we go into doing something new, we are going to make mistakes. We might go down this path and just think, you know what, I'm on the wrong path. This was a mistake. You know what? It's a wonderful discovery that you found out that you're on the wrong path. Just pivot and go on a different path. It's okay. Befriend your fear and give yourself permission to fail enough to succeed. All right, we're just going to scoot through these people who had failures, and they, in the end, did succeed. Sometimes fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. So parts of you want to go forward, and parts of you want to stay where you are, or they call it play small. And in the middle, we have fear. So we're just going to do the same thing with fear that we did with how. We're going to put a strike through it. Mary Morrissey says that you can recognize the fear and actually make an appointment with fear in 3 days. Put it on your calendar, 3 days out, and check in with fear in 3 days and see if it's still there. Probably it won't be. And if it rises up, you just say to it, you know what? I noticed that you're there, but remember, we're going to talk in 3 days. This is just a new tactic of dealing with the fear. It really works. Now, fear has two companions, and they are doubt and worry. And we are not going to focus on them either. What we want to focus on is the dream. Notice what you're noticing when you get caught up in fear, doubt, and worry, and then stop those thoughts and get your vision out and read it and just feel how it feels to be in your dream and keep your attention there. We want our attention on more positive things than we do on the negative things. Stay in the positive more than the negative. All right. Now, taking action is key. So I want you to think of one action that you could take that could get you closer to your dream. Let's just take about 20, 25 seconds and write down an action step for yourself. So go ahead. Next, I want you to write that action step in your calendar. This is a promise to yourself that, yes, I'm going to take that action step. Now, if you were unable to think of an action step, I encourage you to think up an action step before the end of the day and put it in your calendar. Progress is more important than perfection. We're never going to get it perfect. None of us will. So we just want to keep taking the step that we can, and it will get us into a different position, and it will make a difference. The key is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. And this is brave thinking tool number 3. I love this tool. I'll read it again because there's 3 parts to it. Do what you can with what you have from where you are. That's brave thinking tool number 3. The choices and the actions you take today are ultimately who you become tomorrow. It's where you end up, but it's also who you become on the way to your dream. So we talked about designing your dream, deciding for your dream, and befriending your fear. Now, in the Dream Builder program, we will go into these 3 areas in much more detail. I really would love it if you would absorb this statement right into your heart. You are worthy of your dream and a life that you love. Yes, you are. Now, as we come to a close, here's the gift I promised you. It's a special gift for those of you who are ready to take action on your dream. I schedule time each week for visioning sessions. These are 45 to 60-minute phone conversations or Zoom calls where we get clear on exactly where you are, what you would love to create, and the next most important step that you can take that will move you in the direction of your dream. This one-to-one session is valued at $250. If you are ready to invest in achieving your dream, your next step is to have a visioning session with me at no charge. So I have several sessions available, and you can email me. I will put my email in the description box below this video, or you can find me on Facebook, Dawn Huffy on Facebook. You could just send me a message through Facebook. Okay, I am going to stop sharing my screen. Great. Remember, as you walk back into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge that you are facing. You have incredible power within you. This is your moment. Today is your day to take bold action and know that I believe that you can. I didn't come this far to only come this far, did you? If life is still breathing you, life is not done with you yet because something magnificent is happening with you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.